welcome to a new space in my place and to your morning yoga practice, which we're going to enjoy from right here in the bedroom. So clear some stuff away, and we're actually going to get started laying down. So maybe you didn't even get up from out of your bed this morning and you just knew this was coming. So starting from being reclined, we're going to bring our arms up overhead. Depending on how much space you have, you can extend those arms out, or hold on while I tuck my amazing shirt into my pants. Or you can go ahead, bend your elbows, grab hold of your opposite elbow, and find a little stretch to the side as we come into whatever gentle version of banana pose works for you today. You can keep this beginning stretch just in your upper body. Really focus on pressing through your hips. If it feels good, you can bring your legs along as well. We're going to spend about 10 breaths in every posture today, so really just work to slow your breath down, slow your mind down. Start to scan your body. Notice if you're feeling any tension, and just work to melt back into your bed. Or if you decided to practice on the floor below you, just melting into whatever surface it is that you're laying on right now. If you found that little stretch through your legs, go ahead, start to walk your legs back to the center line of your body, and then slowly bring your upper body in line with that lower half. When you're ready, use your exhale, start to find a nice stretch towards the opposite side, and a push through your hips in the opposite direction that your head and your arms are stretching. If it feels good, you can walk your legs in the same direction that your elbows are reaching, and then use your exhale to relax back into your mat, into your bed. Really take the time to notice if you're holding any extra tension in your upper body, in your chest, in your shoulders, even in your mind's eye. Whether or not you had a great or a challenging night's sleep last night, you can still bring some attention right now to your breath. And after this practice, to enjoying some delightful, high-quality H2O, just to get yourself started on the right path. Can you find a little space of your shoulders pulling away from your ears? Come to 2 more breaths right here. And then if you found a little lean with your legs, start to walk your legs back to center. Bring your upper body back to center. Take a moment. Relax your arms down by your side or closer to your side. They just don't need to be up overhead any longer. All right, from here we're going to go into a version of supine tree pose. Let's start with that right leg. So just drawing that right knee up, finding a little bit of a hip opener. It's easy to balance while we lay here on the floor. So creating a bit of a figure 4. Maybe you really feel the stretch in the front of your hip flexor. Maybe you feel a little bit more engagement along the back of your glute or the side of your hip. You can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and then again bring that attention to your upper body and just notice if you're creating any stressful rounding in your shoulders, and really work to release your body back into the mat or your bed. On On your next exhale, go ahead, extend your right leg out once more to be in line with your left, and then draw that left leg up. Might need to reposition your glutes or your upper body just a little bit. So once again, come into a figure 4 on this side. Come back to your slow breath, either eyes focused on one spot on the ceiling above you or close your eyes. Use your next exhale to extend your left leg. Allow those heels to touch for just a moment. Find some alignment in your body and your spine, and then slowly, gently draw both knees up at the same time to come into some reclined bound angle. This might be a posture that's super challenging for you on the floor, but being on your bed, depending on how mushy and cushy your bed might be, you might notice that it feels so much easier to open up to find some contact with your outer thigh, with the outside of your knee and the surface that you're on, just because being in a bed, your glutes are going to sink a little bit more into the mattress. Your body's going to be a little bit more supported than you would be on the floor. If you're starting to feel or notice that you're so relaxed, I encourage you to think about the breath pattern that you're using right now. The next time that you get in bed and you feel like you're having trouble sleeping, truly just taking the time to come into our breath can help us relax our mind, relax our body. Hopefully you'll stay awake for the rest of class. If not, I'm fingers crossed for you that whatever video starts playing next is not too jarring. All right, go ahead, extend those arms out to the side, or maybe come into goalpost arms. We're gonna clamshell our legs together, whichever side you choose to come to first, for a nice little spine twist. You can keep your spine twist gentle by looking in the same direction of your knees. You can get a little extra stretch into that neck and your upper body by looking in the opposite direction. Just a couple more breaths right here. Then take your time, slowly bring your head back to center and your knees back up to center. You might still want to press into the soles of your feet to roll over towards your opposite hip to come into your spine twist for the other side. Find what feels good. See if it feels good to turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees. You can relax your arms wherever they feel comfortable and come back to your breath. Such a beautiful day to do some yoga in bed. Presumably, many of us are enjoying some snow outside, getting to watch some snowflakes fall during class, and also just hearing the sound of the melting snow hitting people's, mostly air conditioners, honestly. But hitting your windowsill, all that jazz, oh, it's so beautiful and peaceful. Okay, next up, go ahead, find a fetal position in the same direction that your knees are pointing. Just take a couple moments with your breath right here. We're going to transition into coming up into tabletop. In case you couldn't tell, Uncle Buck has joined us for today's practice. Okay, so coming up into tabletop, just going to turn in this direction so I can continue to enjoy the beautiful snow, which is really coming down outside, and also so I can see my notes, honestly. Okay, so as you come into tabletop, if you're home alone, allow your costume to get all weird. You can bring those knuckles towards the bed if your bed's feeling super mushy, maybe even coming down onto your forearms for a little bit more stability if you felt that there's a little too much pressure of your wrist into the mat. And even here on our forearms, we can still get a nice little version of cat-cow. Really focus on getting some movement within your spine. Oh, if it feels good, starting to shake your hips a little bit left and right. Maybe shifting your body with that as well. All right, coming back to some stillness, begin to give yourself some circles with your neck. Maybe just turning your chin towards your opposite shoulder. And again, you can be straight up on those hands, palms, or on those knuckles, or whatever feels good for you. As you're starting to feel a little more warmed up, if you want to make these neck circles a little bit bigger. Just honoring whatever makes your body feel good today. Remember that every day is different. What feels right this morning might not be the same stretches that you find that you need later. So normal to need to be a little more gentle in the morning. All right, from here we're going to thread the needle. So go ahead, keep your left hand planted. Inhale that right arm up towards the ceiling. Turn and look up at it. Stretch your fingers up. Try and touch the ceiling. Find that engagement of that back, a big stretch through the side body, and then as you begin your exhale, thread the needle underneath. Bring your ear to your bed. You can walk one hand forward. You can inhale that hand up and bend at the elbow, reaching towards your opposite hip. So find an extra opening of the chest, just whatever feels good, whatever feels normal or supportive for you. Come back to your slow breath, take in all of the beautiful sounds around you. If you brought that hand behind your back, use your next inhale to stretch it up towards the ceiling. Exhale it down towards the bed. Go ahead, unthread the needle. Find that big reach of your right hand fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Try and touch it. And then exhale that hand down to your bed or floor. Go ahead, shake it out. Give yourself a couple twists, a couple cat-cows, whatever feels good. And we'll go ahead and get the opposite side. Beautiful. So planting your left hand down on your bed, right hand. Inhale, left hand up towards the ceiling. Go ahead, thread the needle. You can shift the weight as you need to. Option to walk your right hand forward. Or inhale that right arm up towards the ceiling and reach towards your left hip crease. Take that moment if you can to create some space and some length. Notice if your shoulders are right up touching your ears. See if you can stretch your hips towards your heels a little bit more. Come back to your breath. Inhale your arm up to the ceiling if you had it behind your back. Exhale it down to your surface. Inhale your left hand all the way up, open, and exhale. Bring it back down to your bed. Awesome. Next up, we're going to go for a little yoga squat and a twist. So, especially here on this mushy surface, challenging your balance a little bit more, keeping those hands on your bed, you can go ahead and step yourself up to a squat. We're going to continue to keep one hand down on the bed. You might even be able to, since it's so mushy, get the forearm down towards the bed. I have my left hand down on the bed and reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling. Similar to that same reach we just found while threading the needle, then go ahead, bring your right hand down. You can shift the weight through your heels. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Let's get two more on each side. Left hand comes down. Right arm reaches up. Ooh, big stretch through the side of the body. Right hand comes down. Left arm reaches up. Still see if you can find some length through your spine, shoulders away from ears. This last time through. Opposite side. Great work. Bring those hands back down to your surface. Bring those knees down. Send your hips back towards your heels. Take a moment in child's pose. Okay, start to lift your head up. Go ahead, cross your ankles over each other. Walk your hands back to the center line of your body and sit down on your glutes. Great, so we'll take a moment right here in Sukhasana, an easy pose. So go ahead. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Start to notice what's happening with your body. Were you leaning forward greatly? Can you stack your ears over your shoulders, over your hips? If sitting cross-legged is not comfortable for you, remember you can come into any sort of seated position that does feel right. Take a moment, notice if it would feel good to adjust. Maybe you try an adjustment and that didn't work. that seated position where you can find some stillness. Feel free to use your hands on your knees for a little bit of grounding. We'll take another stretch of our necks here. So rolling those shoulders down and back. Pulling your belly in nice and tight. Stretch up through the crown of your head on your inhale, and on your exhale, allow your right ear to come to your right shoulder. You can keep letting gravity do the work, or you can inhale your right arm up towards the ceiling, bend at the elbow, place your fingertips close by the top of your ear. And slowly allow the weight of your elbow to increase the stretch throughout the left side of your neck. If you have your fingers on your head, walk your hands closer towards the back of your head. Tuck your chin towards your chest. If you don't have your hands on your head, just simply tuck your chin towards your chest. Look towards your right knee, or maybe you're tracing that line down towards your right ankle. Then with those fingers still in the back of your head, I change my grip from the top of my head to the back of my head to look up towards the ceiling. Allow those fingers to melt away from your head. Take your time, tuck your chin back down towards your chest. Find a little gentle roll from side to side, just like we started with those neck stretches while we were in some version of tabletop. And the next time that your ear rolls around to your left shoulder, go ahead, keep it there. Notice if you found a big hinge forward, it's normal while we're relaxed on our beds. So find that lift in your chest again, squeeze those shoulder blades together. You can keep letting gravity do the work, or inhale your left arm up towards the ceiling. Bend at the elbow, bring those fingertips close to the top of your ear, and as your elbow hangs heavy to the left, you'll feel an extra little stretch on the right side of your body. That, everyone, is the beautiful sound of someone else shoveling snow. Isn't it beautiful? Yes. All right. Walk your hands a little closer towards the back of your ear, the bottom of your head. Start to stretch your elbow forward as you once again look down towards your knee, or maybe in towards your ankles. Make sure you have a slight engagement of your abdominal core, so belly gently pulled in. Inhale, look up towards the ceiling. Allow that elbow to start to hang heavy down towards the floor. You can even release it from your head. Ooh, such a big stretch all the way through the back of the neck, down through the back, into my hip. I hope you're feeling that big stretch too. Use your exhale to go ahead. Take your time. Bring your chin down towards your chest. And on your next inhale, lift your head up. Great, let's go ahead and kick one leg out cornerwise. Similar to that reclined tree pose that we found, just a little bit wider out towards the side. Awesome, and as we get here, we're gonna actually go ahead and bring our hands, palms together. We're just gonna do some nice mobility warm-ups for our wrists, to get our wrists ready for the day. So just make some circles with your wrist in one direction, then go ahead, change the direction. I'm starting off trying to keep my hands, palms together. They separate just a little bit, it's normal. Awesome, go ahead, separate your hands, shake your hands out, make some circles with your wrists in one direction. Make some circles in the other direction. You can bring your hands back together. You can do some waves. You know, it's okay to get a little silly. feels good. This feels nice, kind of loosening up the biceps a little bit as well. Awesome. Let's go ahead, extend that left hand forward, flex it back towards your face, press through your hand palm. Stretch those fingers down towards the floor. Great work. All right, relax your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to reach with our left hand fingertips towards our big toe. If you can't reach your big toe, that's totally okay. You can always just place your hand on top of your shin. I want you, instead of bringing your chest towards your leg, to rotate your right shoulder up towards the ceiling so that you're opening your chest so that there's almost a line through your shoulders to that knee area. If it feels okay, bringing your elbow in front of your left shin and inhaling, right arm up towards the ceiling. See if you can use your next exhale to squeeze those shoulder blades together, maybe even drawing right shoulder back a little bit more. You can look up towards the ceiling. Once again, enjoying that big stretch in the neck. Can you stretch your right hand fingertips overhead even more, bringing the stretch down the total side of your body. And then inhale, gently lift yourself up. Release your hand from your left foot. Bring your hands behind you. Bend that left leg. Bend your right leg. Let's windshield wipe them gently. And then switch to the opposite side. So kicking your right leg out, folding that left leg in to meet the right side body. Just notice how you're feeling on this side. Does it feel the same as the opposite side? I know for me, this definitely feels a little bit more tense. All right, let's give ourselves another wrist warm up over here. Maybe getting a little bit more into your hands, palms, making some tight fists and then releasing your fist. Maybe stimulating your fingers, pressing the pads of one finger against your thumb, even getting the nail beds involved, pressing your pad of the thumb against the back of your fingernail, just getting in some nice little mudras, just finding what feels good. Just getting a little weird, getting a little wacky, you know, before 8 o'clock in the morning. Sounds great to me. Awesome. Okay, so once you've made some fists and shaken it out and done whatever feels good to really start to warm up those wrists from a seated position, we're just warming them up for fun. Don't worry, nothing crazy is coming on the bed. We're going to go ahead and reach for our right toes. Remember, if you can't reach your actual toe, you can always just place your hand on your shin. And then instead of just turning towards that leg, opening yourself out towards the side, can you bring your right elbow towards the inside of your knee and inhale your left arm up towards the ceiling. So pretend there's a wall right behind your back, right behind your leg, and you're working to open up your chest and draw your left shoulder back to try and touch that wall. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Find that length through the crown of your head. Take one more big breath here. And on your exhale, gently lift yourself up. Let's go ahead, kick both legs out. Take a moment in dragonfly, full dragonfly. See if you can rotate your toes out and up, so a little external rotation. If you normally are really tight in your hamstrings, this might feel a little better than usual being here on the bed because you do have the support, a little bit more support of the mattress underneath of your legs. It can encourage that slight bend of your knees. So especially if you're feeling really tight, this is just a great way to be supported in your stretching. And let's once again go ahead and find a little bit of a twist, but this time we are going to actually turn towards our legs. Let's go to the right leg first. So go ahead, see if you can place one hand on each side of your thigh. Draw that right shoulder back. Relax your shoulders away from your ears and walk your hands as far forward as feels good for you today. The farther forward that you walk it, the more you're really going to feel a big stretch throughout that right leg, hinging forward. I feel it coming in a lot more into the top of my leg and the quad, as opposed to just along the back of the leg, the hamstring. And this big hinge brings the stretch into that hip flexor. Great, take your time. Let's slowly, gently walk our hands to the opposite side. Turn towards that leg. Really take an active moment before you hinge forward at all to draw your left shoulder back and to draw that right shoulder forward. So you're working to square your body with your extended left leg. And then keeping a little engagement of your belly as you find that gentle forward hinge. Do your best to keep that right glute towards your bed or the mat. Once again, really work to turn your shoulders. Wow, big stretch all the way from this right shoulder down through the left hip. Take 2 more breaths right here. Okay, and then turn yourself back towards the front. Go ahead, bring those legs together. Take your time. We'll go for a nice little forward fold. Start by bringing your hands by your hips, just like any forward fold. I encourage you to take a little walk back of your glutes behind you. Because we are on this mushy bed and our upper bodies are a little heavier than our lower bodies, you might not be able to get as deep in your forward fold because your legs are a little bit higher than your glutes normally would be. Either just keeping your hands close by your hips and finding that gentle little hinge, or working a little bit harder. Just make sure you're working smart for your body today. As you melt forward into some sort of a forward fold or caterpillar. If your back is feeling a little challenged here, feel free to even use your hands as a prop, just like we would in yin yoga, knuckles under your chin. Take 3 more breaths right here. And on your next exhale, gently lift yourself up. You can place your hands slightly behind your hips. Let's go ahead, bend our knees and windshield wipe them from side to side. We got 1 more big stretch on those legs, so we're going to come into deer pose here on our beds. So I'm dropping that right knee down and I'm bringing that left leg in. So creating some 90-degree angles with the legs. You can do whatever feels good with your upper body. If you have a bunch of pillows behind you, feel free to lean back on those pillows. Just making use of what we have around us. So just depending on the position that your upper body's in is really going to depend on where you're feeling the stretch. By taking this lean back, I brought a lot more stretch into my left glute itself, a little bit more into the left hamstring, which I just don't feel as much while sitting up straight. I feel it a little bit more towards the hip. Feels good though. Let's take 2 more super relaxing breaths right here. And then you can stay leaning back if you want to, or option to sit yourself up as we gently just switch our legs. Maybe you just want to bend your knees and keep the soles of the feet on the bed. Maybe you want to extend them forward. Find what feels good. So see how closely you want to bring that back heel in towards your glutes. That's also going to change the way that you feel the stretch. Depending on how you're feeling, maybe you want to add in a little bit more of a twist on this side. Maybe you want to come back to your nice gentle lean. Hey, maybe we just found your new favorite way to get a good stretch and also to read a book or watch some television, to drink some coffee, to enjoy the gentle falling of the snow. It is so beautiful outside right now. One more big slow breath right here. Awesome. Then let's go ahead and lay down on our backs. As you get there, draw your knees in towards your chest for a little knees to chest pose. You can open them as wide as you want to. You can keep them squeezed in together, maybe getting a little stimulation of your belly. We'll do a quick little wind removing here as well to really prepare you for the rest of the day. I've been trying to mirror your moves throughout class, but for this one I'm going to look opposite because you want to make sure that you start with your right leg. So keeping that right leg drawn in, you can go ahead, extend your left leg out. Pull your right knee away from your rib cage and then back up towards your shoulder. Interlace your fingers on top of your shin and really pull it up towards that shoulder as much as possible. Wow, getting so much of a deeper range of motion here on my bed than I normally would for this posture. So while you're pulling your shin towards your shoulder, you're pressing your shin into your hands, palms. Your lower back is glued down towards whatever is below you, and your belly is pulled in nice and tight. Take one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, slowly, gently release your right leg out in front of you. Bring your heels towards each other, just realigning your body for a moment. Keep your right leg straight and start to fold that left leg in. Draw your knee out away from your rib cage and then back up towards your shoulder. Hopefully you still have the support of both of your shoulders relaxed on the surface below you. If that right shoulder significantly rolled away, glue it back down towards the floor. You can even flex your toes of your right foot back towards your face to find a little bit more stability on your surface. Start to pull. Pull your knee towards your elbow. Press your shin into your hands, palms, equal opposite contraction. Stretch your elbows down towards your hips. Keep that belly pulled in, lower back glued to the floor. Take one more big inhale. And on your exhale, extend that left leg out. Take your time. Let's draw both knees in one more time. Once more, we find ourselves in knees to chest pose. Go ahead, send the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Come into happy baby. Find what feels right for you for happy baby as well. I want you to think about keeping your lower back on the floor, on your bed, on whatever surface that you are working with. So if reaching for your feet brings those glutes off of the floor, instead of reaching for your feet, maybe grab your ankles, or maybe just grab on to the backs of your calves so you can really focus on gluing that upper body on your mat, your bed, whatever, as much as possible. If it was really easy for you to grab hold of your toes, maybe you want to extend those feet out a little bit wider. Just really doing your best to keep that lower back, that sacrum, in contact with the surface below you. Coming towards the end of our practice, take 2 more breaths, either in big toe stretch or happy baby. Use your exhale to send those legs up towards the ceiling, just taking a moment, allowing the blood to drain down towards our hearts. Legs up towards the ceiling or legs up against the wall. This is one of the best postures you can do before you go to sleep to really help to encourage some lymphatic draining and some relaxation of your nervous system, of your mind. All right, take your time, bring your heels and toes together to find some support as you bring your legs back down. Oh, feels so good towards whatever is below you. As we come into our final Savasana, I'm gonna enjoy some reclined bound angle for my final Savasana, but you're welcome to come in traditional Savasana, really stretch those legs out, stretch your arms out. Take this time, the next 2 minutes in silence, to truly just allow your practice to soak into your body, into your mind, so you can have the most beautiful day. Okay, you're welcome to stay here in this final Savasana for as long as feels good for you. If you'd like to close class up together, take your time. Let's make our way to a seated position of your choice, maybe even allowing your legs to dangle over the side of your bed, so that you actually will get up out of it when we finish. All right, take this time, bring your hands, palms to the center of your chest. And thank yourself for making time for some physical space, some mental space, and just movement of your body. So many people are surprised when I tell them, yes, you can do yoga from bed. You don't have to get up out of bed to still just bring some beautiful stretches to yourself to start to wake up your body and mind to have a wonderful day. If you have any questions about anything we did today, please reach out. In the meantime, I hope that you think good thoughts, speak good words, eat good foods, do good deeds, and nourish yourself from the inside out. Bring your thumb up to your third eye, your drishti. Lift your beautiful face up towards the ceiling. Find that last stretch through your elbows. Pull your belly in. And enjoy some deep breaths, knowing that the light within me honors and sees the light within you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.